I'll try to make this video brief, but we have quite a bit to go over. Okay, so this society, like I said, is controlled by witches and warlocks. And essentially, the devil, he controls this realm temporarily, and he inverts everything. So everything that is of God, that God created, every plan that he makes, the devil will always try to invert everything. And God always wanted the male to be in charge, the male to be strong and independent, and the male to be the leader of society. But the devil has inverted it and made it so that the power has been given up to the woman. If you look in society, the Illuminati, the elites, they use media and movies to slowly twist our perception of first what is love, what is a proper healthy relationship, and then also slowly taking away the power from the male, making him look like a bumbling fool and making him always having to be saved by the woman. But even if we go back in the 90s, I was born in 90, and we're just going to look, I'm an expert in energy and energy reading, and it's just something that I've naturally had the ability. I was born with it, and also it was kind of strengthened during my upbringing. But straight up, we could see, I can read from the body language. Look at this image here. So Aladdin here. So essentially all these movies are about, essentially not all of them, but most of them are about premature love. It's about love and infatuation between a young male character and a young female character. And essentially they try to get the youth enamored with love and try to get them fascinated with like love from another person, from finding a partner at a young age, exposing kids to this when they're not even supposed to be thinking about this at their age. And straight up, I noticed that after the 90s, the kids grew up on this stuff, and then they started seeking love like at a faster, younger age, trying to grow up faster, essentially getting into relationships that are not essentially synced with them, because there's essentially a one specific partner designed for you that you're supposed to work on yourself, love yourself, focus on yourself, and then attract that person to you. But the system wants you to rush into love, and essentially whatever is of God is difficult. Like is not quick. Whatever you earn, okay, like whatever you get quickly in life, you can lose it quickly, right? But with God is difficult. Following him is difficult. Essentially you build a foundation, and essentially it takes time to build that foundation. But then the thing is that the devil can't take away that from you. So essentially relationships are developed like naturally, and they take time, right? So you know the person, and then you don't rush into love, right? But then these relationships, all of them, they start like in a day. They meet each other in a few days, they're in love. You know what I mean? Like if I can just quickly summarize the ones that I have watched, like Lady and the Tramp. It's like the guy, he's completely enamored with this chick, right? This female dog, right? This bitch. And then also I mean, straight up Mary Poppins. Everyone likes we all love these movies, right? But we have to just be aware, right, of how it affects our mind. Because I noticed that, example, like Aladdin. Aladdin, he was like a street rat, and just like he could never better himself, but then he sought only to live in the castle. And then what happened was that he met the princess, and then his life was changed. But essentially he needed the princess to change his whole life, because he never earned it on his own. You know what I mean? He used magic. Like, example, Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast was funny because Gaston, he was the jackass guy in the beginning. He was essentially the alpha male leader. He was essentially like the one who was strong, independent, who was like the hero. But essentially they twist it and make him like the enemy. He's the evil guy. And essentially they make her fall in love with a broken beast type man that essentially needs her to actually survive. Remember, you have to love yourself and be strong on your own. But the system wants you to be latching onto another person so that you're so weak and you haven't even developed fully as an individual to stand strong on your own 2 feet that you need the support of another one, and then it makes you weak. So what happens is that everyone meets the wrong person, and essentially they get married with the wrong person, and their marriage fails, right? Because it's like a 99% chance of failure because it's not the right person. And essentially, I want to tell you, gentlemen, that very important that anything of God, right? Anything from God is honest, is open. There's not going to be any confusion. You will know 100%. But anything of confusion is from the devil. Any type of manipulation, anything that takes away your peace. So if any, this could be interchangeable for male, female. So if you're a woman and you meet a male that gives you stress, right? Of course, this is the same thing. But it's essentially what I've noticed is that, yeah, the females essentially. So anything. Okay, so let's just look at the body language here. We can see that she's the one in this relationship in control. From this body language, the face, I can see here the way that they drew it. This is how the expertise of Disney, how they are able to master energy. They know how to show the energy of the characters, and we don't pick up on it directly, but we pick up on it subconsciously. So we can see that Aladdin here is all, oh, he's all googly over her, and he can't even control himself. Remember, if someone takes away your ability to control yourself, like you feel like you lose control, that is probably a red flag. So any woman that tries to meet you in a manipulative way, I noticed that when I was younger and I was working on my energy, I didn't know about energy, so my energy was trash because I was being attacked, right? But essentially, I noticed that no one cared. But now that I worked on my energy, now I'm attracting everything. But now I don't want anything. That's funny. When you want everything, nothing comes to you. When you don't want anything, everything comes to you. But straight up, I noticed that there's a lot of, like going down the street, a lot of witch women that are essentially trying to manipulate the way that you walk, trying to manipulate how you bump into them, how you meet them. And essentially, if you meet them in a manipulative way, they're trying to manipulate the situation to meet you. That's a red flag, because already the whole foundation of the relationship is based off of manipulation, off of a lie. So essentially, they're just going to like to control you, to steal your energy. Because witches who like manipulating, they don't love you. They like to manipulate and control the men, because they want to shut down the chakras in the male, to deactivate his body, and essentially make him like inactive and back pain, and he's always struggling with his back pain, and he's always supporting her, and then she's getting all the energy and money, and then she's essentially controlling him, right? Controlling where he goes, what he does, and where his energy goes, and he essentially dies early because she's stealing his energy and manipulating him. And essentially, I've noticed a lot of men, I can even look at how their body is, how their back is, because this is how it happened to me. My body was getting shut down, and I was having back pain, struggling with posture issues and etc. Because essentially these asshole witches, warlocks, and wizards of society, this Illuminati cult that controls all governments and all society, and use all media to influence our minds, casting spells with Hollywood, which is the actual wood in a wizard's staff or wand. So essentially they created this to cast spells over the minds of the masses. So essentially they're trying to hide how much, how magic is real, right? How energy manipulation is real, and how these people have been using that to control us. Essentially, like look at this. Okay, Mulan, she's essentially replacing the place of the soldier, of the male. And actually, in the end, when you see that alpha male guy, she makes him like a little bitch. The end scene. Did you guys see the end scene here? Let's watch the end scene, actually. Oh, I'll come back to that later. But essentially, he comes to her like groveling. But he's like basically like a commander. And essentially, he's groveling to her like a bitch. Essentially not attracting her to him. She attracted her, like him to her. Ridiculous. You don't chase anything in life. But the system wants you to be chasing everything. Let's see. Lion King. Okay, I remember this Lion King. Simba, he didn't want to go back. He didn't want to fucking face his destiny, but he chose to run away from it. He didn't make his own mind up. The Nala came, and with her pussy, she convinced him, oh, okay, now he's coming back. And essentially, I remember I was very uncomfortable during that scene when they met again in the jungle, because Disney, essentially, they know how to over-sexualize the faces of the characters, and energetically, the youth pick up on it. And I'm telling you that we'll get to the LGBTQ, because I really think that the energies of the characters, essentially they're hiding in all movies, even in live acting. Like the actors, they're low-key gay. And essentially, we as the audience, we don't know. But the kids, they pick up on the energy. So this is what's causing the actual increase of gay homosexuals. Not that I'm against that. If you want to love whoever you want, but essentially it's against God's plan, right? God has a plan. He wants to have a lot of children so he can spend eternity with. But I'm getting off topic. So we're going to continue with this witchcraft. So I want to tell you how, essentially, we're going to just watch here. This is how Star-Lord, he meets this chick. Essentially, she's already manipulating. She's using manipulations to seduce him. So this is already a sign that she's a witch. And essentially, if you meet someone, it's not always the case, but I think if you meet someone who's dressed in black, if you meet someone who's in a dark room, it's a sign that they're in the shadow. They're walking in shadow, symbolically. Because this matrix this matrix that God, the simulation, the spiritual simulation that God created, essentially gives you signs. So essentially, she's manipulating him, and essentially she kicks his ass and takes this thing. But she makes him like a bitch. Like throughout the series, he's always whining and crying because he needs her to be full. Let's continue here. So I want to tell you how Hollywood, they always show like well, first of all, she's like such an alpha male character, right? But she's essentially, I can tell right away, energetically, she's lesbian. So her energy is already telling the female, like the women who are watching, oh my god, she's my idol. They're picking up on the energy that she is lesbian, and actually she doesn't like men. She hates men. She wants to overpower them and dominate them and control them and replace them. So this is what I'm talking about. And they shut down the men's body. So they show, oh, these actors, oh my god, look how jacked he is. This guy is not jacked. This guy's weak as fuck. I'm going to show you clip by clip by clip by clip by clip how all these actors are weak. How this cult uses the knowledge of attaching energetic cords to your body and starts siphoning your energy and stealing your energy and then essentially shutting down your body. And your body starts getting muscle atrophy. So your muscle and nerves start deadening. So I'm going to show you the signs because I start analyzing the way people walk. Because essentially I had this, everyone has this problem, back pain issues, and we're all in pain, and it feels humiliating to look in pain, right? So we all hide it. But I want to say, okay, I'm in pain, we're all in pain, we're all hiding, we're all fucking in pain, we all have back pain, sciatica, scoliosis, etc. You can say whatever you want, like, oh, you got to activate in the gym or whatever, but straight up, it's because this society has trained us to not use our body. And essentially, look, you're going to look at this guy's body, and I think it's really interesting, this part here. You're going to see the signs of the witch is not, which I told you. A natural male body. A natural male body. So this is like a natural human body. So this is Sir Isaac Newton. I think he drew himself, and he was probably an elite. So they knew. So there's a hidden ruling class of these elite people who are part of secret societies, essentially, bloodlines, royal families, and essentially they're taught a completely different history than you and me. And essentially, they know about energy manipulation, and they know that we're like the peasant class. Essentially, they know that they are essentially allowed to rule over us. So they know how to take care of their body, and this is how a natural human body, and this is not even working out, like gymming, this is just naturally how you're supposed to look. Now, you see those statues of like stoic Roman statues, stoic. Like they show these massive oh come on, they don't want to show muscular, right? Because they're trying to kill masculinity, right? Muscular. Yeah, like this is, every statue was like this because there is an idea of perfection, regardless of what this idiot society wants to tell you and wants to show you, like fat people are beautiful. And even in the art, if you look at the art, like how society, it pushes the ugliest shitty art because this is the way Satan, he wants to invert everything. He wants to make society think that the ugliest shit is beautiful. And that's why all our video games are dystopian future, because they want us to, we want to go there to spend our time in the fucking wasteland, you know what I mean, in a survival shooter. But this is what the perfect body of man we're trying to achieve. Because the more comfortable your body is, the more you're going to feel good, the more you're going to attract good to you, abundance to you. You're going to be feeling great. And people respect you because of your automatic, energetic authority and power and confidence that you exude. But you can see here, he has something called the witch's knot, which I was talking on my channel. I'm a martial arts instructor, and I've always been quite lean, and I actually was struggling to gain masses because the society would tell you, and people around you, no, this is how your body is. That's your body type. Nope, you can make your body any type you want. The more you exercise, your muscles get larger, and the more you use your muscles, the bones get larger. But they want to lie about everything. So essentially, I had something called the witch's knot, and I removed it from a shamanic ceremony that I did myself. But essentially, people go to see shamans that do like a ceremony to remove negative energy from the body, and from consuming special teas and psychedelics, they essentially go into the spiritual realm and shake off these energetic attachments that are essentially shutting down the body. And I essentially vomited up the witch's knot. So essentially, the witch's knot, if you go like this, you go like this, you make that t noise, you push that out, and your stomach, you're going to feel in your stomach a pain, a knot. And essentially, that's from cursed food. evil energies that our body absorbed from our core. We absorb energies into our core, and essentially our stomach ties a knot around it encapsulates the toxins. And essentially our body starts coiling inward from the center, from the core. And essentially we can never outstretch, like in this position here, the healthy position of how our body's supposed to. If you stand up like this every day, legs apart and arms outstretched, it's a very healthy power pose to strengthen your body. Essentially in the military, they get them people to have chin up and feet together, right? Hands by their side, because posture, it's developing the strong posture. But then the military, they don't reveal the secrets to the public, how they get their military bodies physique like strong. And essentially in Hollywood, they have they're from children, they're groomed. So they groom these, essentially these actors, celebrities, they're controlled, right? Then they have like a sex ritual at a Freemason temple. They have a child that's not even going to be belonging to either or parties, because this is belonging to the occult, and they're going to use their abilities to attract and influence people. But essentially they start developing their bodies, and if they're going to be like an action hero, they're going to develop their bodies muscular just for the role. And it's just going to be like a temporary padding of muscle. It's not going to be like because they train the males to have like a weak internal body. So internally weak, but then externally they have this like temporary muscle that just goes away after they film, right? But essentially they know how to develop the bodies in a way that it covers up this problem. Essentially, it's the witch's knot. Essentially, if you have skinny legs, you're not grounded. You're not using your legs. Unfortunately, I'm pretty lean too, so there's a lot of parts of the body that are just exposed bone and showing there's no muscle use. There's no active muscle use there. There's no blood flow. There's no activity there. Essentially, this guy has something called the witch's knot, and I'm not here to make fun of these people because they're suffering. All these actors are essentially depressed people because they're suffering and being tortured and controlled. They're not free. They're forced to live a slave life, doing what the occult tell them to. But we see here, Zootopia. This is something I noticed recently, but you can see that energetically, she is the male energy. She is the lesbian. Her energy is the giving off this. He is the casual, calm, homosexual, faggot male. And again, I'm sorry if you feel offended by that word. My vocabulary is very powerful because I am naturally very powerful, but I love everyone, and I've tried to make friends with homosexuals, but essentially they always just want to fuck me and not actually know me. So essentially it's not possible. And yeah, essentially you have to find everything that's forced is not natural, is not going to be from God, and it won't last. So you have to remember, everything that has to come natural. Okay, so this is Demolition Man. I watched this yesterday, but this is symbolic. I mean, essentially, we see the main hero walking. Essentially, he's and actually you could see, it looks like she's leading him. She's actually energetically, let's see. And you see that when we walk, we can see that someone is always going to be the one leading. Essentially, he comes ahead because she's going to go drive, right? Wait, what's happening? Yeah, see, look, he already was going to the back. You know what I mean? So he's being led, and then in the scene, essentially, he tries to drive and he can't. So it's kind of symbolic, like, he is not in control. The female is actually the one who's going to be in control. The witch is in control. The male's not going to be strong. I have a martial arts, I forgot to turn this off. I have a martial arts channel. I teach martial arts. But I'm actually more than that. I discovered I'm a spiritual teacher too. So if you want to support me, check out my channel. And I got a lot of cool classes that you can actually do at home, and they're interactive. So you can actually train with me. That will explode very soon, as all my channels will. But essentially, we see here, like, it's a very funny, interesting topic. I remember Starship Troopers, and I didn't watch the full movie. I actually downloaded it. I torrented it now because I don't pay for this shit. I just share it, download. Let's share it with each other for free. But straight up, like, if it's something good quality, I'll pay for it. I'll pay. Oh, okay, it's worth it. I'll go buy it, right? Or go see it in theaters, right? Because it's so awesome. But essentially, this chick in the movie, she liked the main character, but he didn't like her. And essentially, I always saw the scene where she goes to the base and Rico is there. And essentially, Rico is he's there in the military base. Essentially, she just shows up late and she's fighting the sergeant, the drill sergeant, and showing like about how badass she is. But essentially, he doesn't like her, and I was kind of wondering why he doesn't like her. And I read online it's because he has another he likes someone else. He has a romance for another. And I guess it's natural. If you have someone else you're into, it's annoying if someone else is pursuing you, right? But it's something interesting that it says here in the movie. They did have a romance eventually, but then she dies in a brutal way. And then I was kind of looking at this. I remember she did die, and then it said Starship Troopers, and I think it was kind of agreeable that this chick, look, Rico didn't deserve her because he kind of just took her as a side, like just for fun, right? But essentially, he didn't really care about her. And when she died, it was like, who cares? And essentially, this guy was saying, she didn't deserve that because she actually cared about him. And the other chick that he was pursuing didn't care. And this is what I'm saying. I'm saying that a lot of these movies, they have the main character, like Spider-Man. We're in Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. This guy's pursuing Mary Jane. And Mary Jane is such a witch, man. Mary Jane... Okay, this chick is such a witch, yo. Straight up, this... I don't want to say bitch, but essentially this witch never liked Spider-Man. She never liked Peter. She never liked him for what he was. She was always chasing her. He always did everything he could. When they were together, he was doing everything he could in the second one to make her happy, and then she started getting jealous of him. So that shows she was like a narcissist. But essentially, yeah, if someone is jealous of your success, they're essentially against you. And essentially, she's supposed to be a good woman that essentially cheats on him in the third movie. Like every single movie, this bitch fucks him over, and essentially, she never gets anything karmic back to her. Like I swear to God, she's always having Peter chase him, except for the end when he finally, But like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter if they had this whole story and at the end of the movie they solve it, because it doesn't matter. The whole thing, you're absorbing that energy. It reminds me of Batman the animated series. When I was a young kid, I would watch the 30-minute, 25-minute episode, and every episode was like 23 minutes of dark, depressing Batman crying about his dead parents and all this dark, being alone in the dark. And then the last 1 minute, it was happy. So essentially, they like to cover it up so that the parents, when they come in the room, look at something happy. But essentially, it's meant to depress the kid and warp their mind of reality. And just like the Spider-Man crap. But I'm showing you guys, like in this comment, in the Reddit comment, this guy is saying, this chick was the one that, I was even thinking that too. This chick was the one that Peter should have went with. She cared about him. She loved him, even though when he was at his lowest point, she was making stuff for him and caring about him when he was at his lowest, and he just dumped her and used her. He should have got with her. He should have never went with that witch. What's her name? Mary Jane, the snake. Okay, now look at Wolverine. Okay, he looks jacked, right? But look, he has a little bit bigger size than me, but it's the same kind of like, we're kind of wide, broad shoulders, but we're kind of getting narrow, and there's this knot here. So this is where the knot is. Essentially, you can't fully get here. Oh, hang on. You can't fully get here until you get rid of this knot that I'm talking about. And essentially, we know that this guy has fucking problems, and all these actors, if you look at them without this like camera angles and their editing and everything, you see their bodies are just like, it's an illusion, because Hollywood doesn't want strong men who are grounded and powerful. They want weak men, weak physically men, because if you're weak physically, you're going to be weak mentally. Stupid. I hate that picture. So stupid. Yeah, and then you can see, especially in the scene where he's in the bathtub in Batman vs Superman, he's having a romance with the chick. Oh, that chick who's controlling him. Oh yeah, this is also what I wanted to say. Look, this guy, right? Clark. I thought it was kind of weird. He acted like such a robot. But I guess it is teaching necromancy. That we have scientific powers, that they're trying to teach that, magic and science are the same thing, that we can bring back people from the dead and we're gods essentially. No. Man and God are separate, and the devil's tricking you guys to fucking follow occult lies. Look, oh God, oh my God, look, he's so powerful, oh God. But then one witch, she has all the power to control a god. This godlike man who's fucking infinite. No, it's not. This is not how it's supposed to be. Men are not supposed to be like, oh my God, being manipulated like this by women. They're supposed to not care. They're supposed to be in control. They're supposed to be not giving a fuck. And the women are supposed to be drawn to the male because they're strong. And You're supposed to not care about other people. You're supposed to love yourself. You focus on you, because if you're not focusing on you, you're doing her the detriment. You're fucking over your future wife because you're weak. You're not gonna be able to take care of her. So you have to strengthen yourself. But see how this bullshit works energetically. Like it's just a mind fuckery. Okay, let's see here. Okay, he's got those issues. Okay, look at his real life partner. I remember when I was living with my narcissist mother, who was a demon, energetically stealing my energy for decades, and essentially I had to escape that because she was gonna keep me there, and I was gonna essentially be homeless and suicide. Essentially, the plan was to steal my energy until I died. Essentially, this witch. But I remember this narcissist person, empty shell demon person. They're low vibe. They're shallow people. All they want to watch is celebrity stuff, gossip news, because gossiping is like a manipulation. It's a form of witchcraft. You're talking information to manipulate people's information about, like, manipulate people's perspectives about other people or gain insight. It's manipulative. It's a form of witchcraft, a minor form. Essentially, that demon would say, I don't even want to say that word, that what she is. She's not my mother. But this demon would essentially say, oh, this person's so ugly. He's so good looking. He should be with someone better looking, because she's so old and ugly. Like, this is like his mother. And essentially what I learned from my demon mother's gossiping, because she was always like a spy studying these fake people's lives, and essentially all the news they put out on the like about their romances is all fake. It's all bullshit. They want you to be, oh my god, so they can steal your energy, because this is how this reality works. It's like they do these massive rituals and they focus your attention and your attention, your thoughts, your emotions, all on something that they do, and essentially they do it on specific times regarding the full moon, so they can steal energy, because it's an energy harvesting system. Because they have knowledge of how to do that, because they're witches and warlocks and wizards. Essentially, I guess I'd have to say he does deserve to be with a younger, hotter chick, but essentially, I don't know if they're together now because I don't care, but essentially she's a witch and she's controlling him. And essentially he was I heard he was orphaned or something. So he was seeking motherly like figures. So he attached himself to her so she could control him. This is how it works. This is how the occult works. All of them are with a younger like kid, because they're all pedophiles. So they have to be with someone who's like 20 or 30 years younger. Anyway, let's see here. This guy. So 300. And you know what? This guy, the rumors will say, oh, he's an arrogant jerk. I think I remember that demon would say, oh, this guy's an arrogant jerk. And now that I think of it, anything that demon would say is the opposite would be true. Because actually looking at this guy's eyes, I can tell he's a good person, kind-hearted person, but he's controlled. And you can see here, he looked jacked, but look at his legs, skinny. No, your legs should be like twice the size. My legs should be twice the size. Fuck. 3 times the fucking size, man. Thickness, because they're supposed to be tree trunks to help stabilize and carry yourself. We can see skinny legs, scrawny stick legs. You kick someone's leg, you're gonna break your leg. Well, not necessarily. You can condition bones, but no, man, you need thicker legs. You can see, okay, here. This is his handler. This is the witch that's controlling him. Look, she's leading him by the arm. Look how skinny. Look how he's standing so straight, because essentially they shut down this is the cult. They essentially attach energetic cords to the sacral chakra. And then they start siphoning energy, and you start getting back problems, sciatica, and you start getting stiff-bodied. And so you can't really function. Then you start getting led around because she's the one in control. He's the puppet. This is how it works. Look at his body. He doesn't have a jacked body. He lost it right away because it was all fake. Essentially, we're following these actors who are essentially Deadpool. This actor is gay. Everyone knows, right? Ryan Reynolds is gay, right? Even the way he acts in movies is gay. Look, he's so gay. But it's like they try to act like, oh, it's so cool, and all these. This is what a male hero is supposed to act like. Nope. Anyway, guys, I reject modern crap, and I embrace masculinity and embrace God. So again, if you met your wife through some manipulation, she's probably a witch. And essentially, what else can I say about if you're a woman? How can you discern it, right? How can you discern it? She's controlling. She doesn't love you. She loves to control you. So you have to kind of notice, is she trying to get you to, oh, look at this picture. Oh, can you go do this? Hey, let's go for a walk so you can carry this for me, or you can do this. See if you try to do something independently or say your own opinion or idea and see what they react like. If they try to shut you down or put you back to sleep, You run away from them. Peace.